Hello, I'm Diane Williams.
And I'm Sharon Williams. Welcome to the Crafty View.
Well, here we are with the Weavers and Spinners, and Sharon Williams, who you just heard during the introduction, is going to help us understand who's here, tell us about what they do, how long they've been doing it. Are you ready, Sharon?
Yes.
I'm ready for you. Go ahead.
Okay. This is Beverly Anglin. She's doing a pen loom. How long have you been doing it, Beverly?
I've been doing pen loom for 4 years.
4 years. And she makes the small, she's made this beautiful piece right here, this tabletop. She's done shawls. She does the little birds and the sachets.
Now, how does she do this? What is this? Crochet? Weaving? It's weaving.
Mm-hmm. And she also owns the Southern Needle, which is a yarn shop here.
Nice. And that's going to be another square in your design?
Yes, it is.
It's going to be like what's in the center, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, this is a whole lot of squares put together. She did a beautiful shawl out of these lavender and purple colors, and it had how many?
100 squares. It took 4 months to make the shawl.
That's the question everybody wants to know. Yes.
When you get adept at it, a square will take 30 minutes.
Really?
It's one of the easiest forms of weaving that you can do.
Is there anything you can show us right now on how you're working it, or is that one finished?
Well, I am finishing the edges. So what I'm doing is I'm going around the edge and locking it by picking up every 2 threads with my tapestry needle and coming in and out in order to lock the edge.
Okay. Very good. I just love that yarn and how it has those extra colors and that kind of texture in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
And Heather is working on a larger loom. Is that called a pen loom?
It's also a pen
Pen
loom.
loom, okay.
And you're just getting started on your
just getting
design.
started.
Yeah, that's what we want to know too. How
she's
does
working.
one start? So can you explain to us what it is you're doing? What's your methodology?
Well, I'm warping the loom so that I can take my second color to weave in between. You always have to start with your warp.
They have the warp and the weave and the warp, or the warp and the
Warp
what?
and the weave.
Warp and weave.
You're gonna warp it, and then this is the warp length, and the second color will go across, so that'll be the weft. The warp is up and down, weft is straight across.
Warp and weft. Remember that if you ever want to do this. And notice that she's grabbing 3 of the pegs, and she knows just where to put it. That's going to get her started, and she'll end up with a design like this other lovely lady that we were watching just a minute ago, except that hers is larger. Look at that. Wonderful.
How long have you been doing this, Heather?
Now, the pen loom for me has been about a year. I normally weave on a table loom, and I started on the floor loom. So the table loom has been like 2 years. Floor loom, excuse me.
She
I think
does
I started about 4 years ago.
And she does the beautiful scarves right here.
Lovely, lovely scarves. They look so soft. And look at the back side of that one. Is all of that done on that peg loom?
No.
That was on the table loom.
Table loom. We're going to learn about all of that today. Let's go around and talk to some more people.
And this is Jean. Is that how I pronounce it? Jean. Oh, okay.
Jean-Marie.
John Marie. Okay. And she's using a rigid heddle. And are you weaving a scarf or just weaving?
I'm weaving a scarf, and it's a method called clasp weft, which means I'm using 2 different yarns, and it's clasping one to make the design, to make these designs going this, rather than just being a solid, of either this or this. So it's kind of going through, and you lift it over and you pull it back, and I'm almost out of my weft here. I'll have to redo another one.
And you have some more, and then you put all that yarn together that you have in your hand Did you wind it into a ball?
I did not. Somebody else did that. I have not learned spinning, although one of these days I probably will. But I started out on a table loom at a class here in the Craft Center, and I learned to weave I'm going to speak directly to you. I learned to weave on a table loom. And then when COVID hit and everything closed down, I couldn't come up to my table loom, and I was very bored at home. And I called my good friend Beverly at the Southern Needle, and I said, Beverly, can you order me a rigid heddle loom that I
She
can
looks
weave
at
on
her
home?
with endearment.
And so Beverly ordered this for me, and it took a while because I couldn't find any supplies during that time. But it came in, and so I've learned how to do this, and it's a much easier, more portable loom to carry around and do things with.
So tell me how you feel when you're doing this. Is it drudgery? Is it fun? What does it do for you?
This is fun. Working on the table loom is much more intense because you have to, if you've got a pattern going, you have to count, or I do, you have to kind of count to make sure that you're getting your wefts on straight. But on this one, I can just kind of create my own design. This is sort of random, and I can create.
Which is
my own
wonderful, because we're going to enjoy it when you're done. We're going to smile, you're going to smile, and you're going to be on to the next thing. Thank
That's
you.
right. That's right. You're welcome.
Okay, and next we have Debbie Stringer, who has been in our Weavers Guild a long time, and does absolutely beautiful work.
Now you just moved that. Tell me what you just did.
Okay, this is also a rigid heddle loom, and it's so named because this is a rigid heddle, this piece here, okay? When I do this, it lifts up every other thread, warp thread,
Oh!
okay? And then I put my shuttle through and press that in, and now I'm gonna lower those same threads, so the opposite set of threads are on top now. So that, in effect, what the loom does is keep the threads under tension, and it prevents you from having to go under with the
Yeah.
shuttle. Instead, the loom lifts the threads or lowers the threads.
And look at the stitches on there. That is fine craftsmanship.
Well, actually, a beginner could do this. This is a very
As
simple
I
weave.
said, it's fine craftsmanship.
If you say so.
Look at her edges, they're really nice.
Yeah, they're really nice edges.
This is a wool yarn and a cotton. This is wool. The warp is wool, and the weft yarn is all cotton.
Woof and weft, woof and weft.
Warp and weft.
And you know, I know you. I didn't know everybody else we talked to today, but you're a little sneaky, because this is not all that you do.
I'm a quilter.
Yeah, I know it.
Yeah, I'm primarily a quilter, but I've been a weaver longer than I've been a quilter, and I still love this. And you were asking about how it feels to do this. It depends on the complexity of the project, because you can make it as easy or as complex as you want. But something like this is very simple, very easy. You can just sit down and enjoy the process and not have to think too much, which is always relaxing. But the motion, the rhythm you get into, and the movement of the yarn, and the changing of the colors and all, is very relaxing and exciting at the same time, really.
It's